it with music, beautiful music. Hello, I'm Fred Miller, and this is yet another lecture in song. And before we get into the story and the music of the great Merman, a little background on me. I was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, had a wonderful classical piano teacher, was into Bach, Beethoven, and Brahms, and that includes all the biographical details, the history surrounding them. That went on till precisely on my 13th birthday, the Beatles arrived in America, and suddenly my musical horizons expanded somewhat to include the great rock songs of the 1960s. That went on through high school until the summer after I graduated, at which time I hitchhiked with a friend from New Mexico to the Woodstock Festival. I even managed to show up very prominently in the poster. But that was it for rock music for me, and actually history is borne out that really was the peak of the whole great rock age. I was supposed to go to college that fall. I went very briefly and then left, got a VW bug, traveled the country, settled in Greenwich Village, and at some point somebody gave me an album of Ella Fitzgerald singing Cole Porter. And here I am. That's my musical odyssey. Really, for all these years, it's been American popular song. Gershwin, Porter, Kern, Rogers, Berlin, Fred Astaire, Judy Garland, Ethel Merman, Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby. All of it wonderful. And I came up with the notion of a lecture in song. Each one would be some profile of a great personality or some aspect of American popular song. I started with 6 programs, and now to date I have 75 different lectures in song, each one described in detail at Fred Miller Music. The program at hand, well, there are songwriters, of course, so I have different categories. There are holidays or historical events, whatever eras, performers. And there are some performers that just have a certain something that just puts them in a class all by themselves. And Ethel Merman was one of those people. For Broadway, there was no one that the great songwriters that everybody fought, elbowed their way to try to write for her. She was the one for whom more great songs were written on Broadway than anybody else. I think in movies, the only comparable figure would be Fred Astaire. On Broadway, Merman was, well, she just had a certain magic. And I had the great privilege of seeing, well, I saw Frank Sinatra. There are very few of these people, of course, I saw. They were there in person. These were, I was past that era. But Sinatra was still performing in the late 70s. He was rather blasé. I saw him in Atlantic City. Phoned it in. Merman, that was something else. There was an announcement. It was the spring of 1982. She was going to be singing at Carnegie Hall. I grabbed a ticket. I went. And the excitement, oh my goodness, when the lights went down, and there it was. And then you could hear the announcer going, "Ladies and gentlemen, the First Lady of the American Musical Theater, Miss Ethel Merman." And there she came out, sparkling in blue, glittering, and sounding like Ethel Merman. "For sure you'll never see me as Mimi and Bohemi. I'm just a lady with a song. Gee, but it's good to be here. Frankly, I feel right at home. This is the champagne with all the fizz. Here is where the excitement is. Gee, but it's good to be here. I really feel in rare form. There's nothing like this, not anywhere. There's a magic that's in the air. I'm so ecstatic, I could shout, I could yell it out. To be emphatic, what's not to be happy about? Gee, but it's good to be here. Wouldn't miss this for the world. It's my considered opinion that the place to be is the place I'm at, and I couldn't be more sincere. Gee, but it's good to be here. She was there all right, and how. What a presence, my gosh. It was that voice. It wasn't the looks or anything like that. It was that voice was her calling card. It was loud, strong, brassy, fearless. It was what made her something astonishing right from the very start. From that night in May of 1982, going back 52 years, it was that sort of quality that was uniquely hers. And on that night in October, it's October 14th, 1930, where she made her debut in George and Ira Gershwin's Girl Crazy, it was all there. Days can be sunny with never a sigh, don't need what money can buy. Birds in the trees sing their days full of song, why shouldn't we sing along? I'm cheaper all the day, happy with my lot, how do I get that way? Look at what I've got. I got rhythm, I got music, I got my man who could ask for anything more. I got daisies in green pastures.